Wow. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, all 500,000 of you out there watching. Carlos, good morning. Mean Gene. Dan, of course, the one and only Mr. Jono with his bum leg, soon to be better. What's today? Today's Sunday, and it is the 28th of June. Um, I'm going to have to give a big shout out to who? To Mr. Harrison and Mr. Dominic and Mr. Dylan. I give my shout out right away right now before I forget. Thank you very much for joining me. Good morning to Denmark. Good morning to America. Good morning to everywhere. Yeah. So anyway, today's Sunday here, and I've debated about whether or not I feel like talking about politics. You know, I really despise politics and everything that is involved with it. At this point, I've began turning my phone off, which I almost never do because I want to know if I'm getting any unusual comments or wonderful comments, or I'm getting some kind of sale or whatever it might be. But nowadays, for the past 4 or 5 days, I've been turning off the phone uh, for hours at a time, and I'm at the point now where I just want to turn it off for good. And I've got myself a new SIM card. I've got a couple other phones, and I just want to just have the phone. I don't want all the other garbage that goes along with it, because guess what? You can't get away from the news. You just can't. It doesn't happen. Let's see here. Let's see if everything's going all right. Looks like the quality of the video, the audio is pretty good. But yeah, you can't get away from it now, and that's part of my continue. Now it's back. It's something else. You pay to have internet. I'm just it's like, if I want to use the internet, you're supposed to have great internet, and guess what? It doesn't work all the time. It's off and on, off and on. Listen, just make it work. If you can't make it work, don't profess to be able to make it work. I'm a little on the grouchy side this morning. Haven't had my coffee or any breakfast or anything like that. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, it's like I look at the news, and I go, I don't want to look at it anymore. I can't look at it anymore. I'm just disgusted. I'm tired. Uh, and then today we're going to talk a little bit about travel, fortunately, because travel gets you away, hopefully. We're going to talk about this cancel culture. We're going to talk about the coronavirus, of course, and we're going to talk about the increasing numbers of this that are occurring in the United States and what's going on. I know exactly what I've been doing, and first of all, financial freedom is the key to having as many options. One of the keys to having as many options as possible. And I wouldn't say that I'm there yet by any means, but I'm far more fortunate than others, and I'm not in a bad way. So I'll say that. But the other thing is that you just have to be willing to go and get outside of your comfort zone to be able to find those places. For me, it's always been somewhere down by the beach or in the mountains somewhere or something like that. And, like I talked about the other day, I want to go to Nakhon Phanom and then work my way up to Bangkok in the Isan province of, they've always had to pay taxes on income, Gennaro. I don't know where you're seeing anything different, but any money earned, you have to pay taxes on. However, I was looking at what to do and how to go about doing this trip and everything to get away from everything. Uh, I don't think that a trip just to Bangkok is going to be enough, and I was thinking about trying to go around the outer edge of Thailand, just go all the way around it. However, I may need to do it, not by foot. That would be a little bit crazy for me at this point, but maybe by Song Tao or minibus or something like that. But there's plenty of places to go. So I'm actually thinking about heading over to Nong Khai. I know exactly where I want to go, just to chill out, have a coffee on the river. Nakhon Phanom to Bangkok to Nong Khai, maybe over to Lui, and then up to Chiang Rai. I want to try to do all that. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. It really depends, because it's a little bit difficult to plan out every single move that you make. But I'm trying to keep my hotel rooms to about 500 to 800 baht a night, no more than that. And that is possible, so we'll see what happens. But I should be leaving in a little more than a week, and that'll get me away. The problem is that nowadays most people, including myself, have become so entrenched in the internet that it is very difficult to disengage and to get off the internet. I listen to Spotify. Well, guess what? Spotify, you need the internet. You don't always need it. You can just download stuff to be offline, but at some point you need to be online. You want to watch Netflix, guess what? You're going to be online. You want to do Facebook, which I can't stand. I think it made me pretty happy that what's his name, Mark Zuckerberg, lost something like $7 billion in advertising. Actually made me pretty happy. So that's something else to think about. But getting back to the whole cancel culture thing before I go on to what's going to happen in the next week or so with what I'm going to do. I just saw that on The Simpsons, they're not going to allow white voice actors to play the part of someone who is colored. In other words, what's his name? Apu? Apu is gone. Apu, as you know him, he's not going to be played by Hank Azaria anymore. Done. No more Apu. Now, here's the thing. They said, "Oh, it's so racist." No, it's not. It's not racist to me. It's not racist at all. They're making light of something. And if you look at, I was just thinking about this morning. If you look at the people who are who comprise the tailor industry here in Thailand, the majority of the owners of the companies, they are Sikhs. Now, it would be easy to make up something about all the Sikhs who are running the tailor shops. Hey, mister, 6 suits for you, 10 shirts, 3 belts, and 5 shoes, all just for 200 baht or something like that. That's the truth. You go into 7-Eleven somewhere in the United States, and who's working there? Well, sometimes it's foreigners working there. Now, not always, and I don't know because I haven't been back on a daily basis looking at who's involved. But stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason, because you can't get away from saying, it used to be that people would tell Polak jokes. I don't hear them very much anymore. Okay? They do that for a reason. And they tell jokes about whatever culture, whatever race. People tell jokes for whatever reason. And I would say that most of the time, especially if you're listening to a comedian, they're not done with malicious intent. And I think that's what people have forgotten about, is the intent. And I think it's a good thing that Trump is trying to block the destruction and takedown of all the statues around the country, because I don't care what anybody says. You can't eliminate your past, and you need to learn from the past so that the future will not repeat itself. Hopefully, you'll be better in the future than you were in the past. I mean, this has been talked to death, but why is it? And why is it that every single freaking problem area, it's got to be something like 95%, it's all the Democrats. They have the problems. Oh my God, Trump's not taking care of us. No, it's your own area. You're supposed to handle situations in your area. Okay? Now, one thing that bugged me, California Democrats passed resolution they passed this resolution, you sons of bitches, calling for John Wayne Airport to be renamed. Have you read about this? Have you heard about this? John Wayne. It's so ridiculous. What's Coolata? I don't know. They want to change, and they're going to do it. They're going to change the name of the John Wayne Airport. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Who are these listen, I look at them as a bunch of pussies. I don't look at them as people who are trying to right a wrong. I look at them as pandering pussies. And excuse me if that's a little harsh for people to understand. You're going to have to get over it, because if you're offended, I'm fucking offended. Sorry. These snowflakes are not concerned about intent or statistics or facts. Well, yeah, I was going to say, why is it when you put the facts right in front of them, all of a sudden it's like, Trump sucks. He sucks. It's like, wait a minute, we weren't even talking about Trump. We're talking about the facts. Okay, so let me read this article here about the John Wayne Airport. It's pretty disturbing. California Democrats in Orange County are demanding that the county's John Wayne Airport be renamed in all likenesses of Wayne. Why don't you just take every fucking one of his movies and burn them, you fucking dirty, rotten cunts? And you know that I don't care. YouTube, demonetize it. I don't give a shit. You sons of bitches. They be removed from the airport over racist and bigoted statements made by the American icon decades ago. Decades ago. All right, let me see. Why don't we hold Julius Caesar accountable for his actions? Why don't we hold Alexander the Great accountable for all his actions? Why don't we? I mean, it's so ridiculous. The Democratic Party of Orange County condemns John Wayne's racist and bigoted statement and calls for John Wayne's names and likeness to be removed from the Orange County Airport, and calls on the OC Board of Supervisors to restore its original name, Orange County Airport. The resolution passed Friday says. The resolution, first reported by the Los Angeles Times, would reverse this 1979 decision to rename it after the Duke, and cites remarks he made in a 1971 interview with Playboy. I believe in white supremacy, and here's the caveat that you know you're not going to hear about until now. This is in 1971. Things were a bit different back then, but supposedly things are starting to get better at that point. I believe in white supremacy until the blacks are educated to a point of responsibility. They're still not fucking responsible. And I'm not talking about all blacks, but some of them, like people in Black Lives Matter, they don't understand, hey, motherfucker, you need to take responsibility and not commit a crime, and then the cops won't come after you and maybe slap a chokehold on you because you're a big motherfucker and you're fighting them, and then they feel like, hey, the only way I can deal with them is to use a stun gun, and then the stun gun doesn't work, and then they start pummeling you. And guess what? If you had taken responsibility and said, hey, this is the police, hands up, shut the fuck up, put your hands behind your back, and take responsibility for what you did wrong, nothing would happen. But see, people don't want to talk about this. And quite frankly, they can all kiss my ass if they don't like what I'm saying. I really don't care. Because I'm sick and tired of all this bullshit. It's like, listen, I wouldn't even care. I watched yesterday about 3 videos where uh, white civilians in cars. 2 of them were white officers, and 1 was a black officer. And these guys were like, no, I'm not giving you my ID. No, I'm not going to get out of my car. No. And guess what? The cops yanked them out of their car and said, you need to abide by what I'm asking you to do. You're going to be under arrest. No, I know my rights. No, you know what? All you motherfuckers don't know your own rights. That's the thing. You may think you know your rights, but when it comes down to it in a court of law, and maybe the cop doesn't know them also. I admit that. Maybe he doesn't fully know them. But if a guy says to you, let me see your ID, you don't bash him and say, oh, you're just pulling me over because I'm white, because I'm black. You don't know what you're talking about. I know my rights. Oh, shut the fuck up. Shut up. You know, if you just hand the guy your license, unless you're doing something wrong, you'll be on your merry way. Now, you might have to pay a ticket or fight the ticket, but you'll be on your merry way. You won't get the shit beat out of you. Nothing will happen. Now, I talked about this. Here in Thailand, I've been walking down the street on Asok. Right on Asok, on the corner of Asok and Sukhumvit. I was standing there, getting ready to cross the street. 2 cops standing there. They turned to me. They said, hey, how are you? I said, fine. Good. What are you doing? I said, oh, I'm just walking down the street, just chilling, you know. Oh, you have a visa? Yes, sir, I do. Would you like to see it? Boom. Whipped it out. I didn't even wait for them. They asked me, I showed it to them. Oh, no problem, no problem. And, you know, I talked to them for 5 or 10 minutes after that and went on my merry way. Yeah, it's going to, listen, I'm white and it offends me when a white plumber shows his ass crack to me. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say anything? I'm waiting. Listen, there will be a day when people, first it will come as an option. When your baby's born, do you want him to have a chip implanted that prevents him from saying anything that might be construed as racist? And then it will be mandatory at some point. Might be 50 years. Might be 10. But, you know, every time I look at the news now, I'm like, what the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? Cleveland Brown, one of the funniest things, I put a clip up many years ago. Cleveland Brown is a black guy. I don't remember, he's a bus driver, I think. And he goes in to take a shower for some sexy time with his wife. And for some reason, some little squirrel got in or something. I forget what it was. And the thing jumped on him, and he freaked out. And then the thing latched onto his member, and it was covering it up in the cartoon. And he's freaking out trying to get the thing off. Funniest, I laughed my ass off for months because of that little video. Now the guy who does the voice, who happens to be white, is no longer going to do his voice. Family Guy, white actors will no longer voice non-white roles. Now, let's look at the logic behind this. I don't necessarily think it's about, hey, what does a black person sound like? Oh, it's got to be a black person to sound like a black person. They don't give a shit what a black person sounds like. Okay, maybe that's part of the character. They want the character to sound a certain way. They want a poo to sound like an Indian with a very, very strong accent. Now, maybe Hank Azaria, and I dare say he does a damn good job of it, maybe he does a better job at fitting the part than anybody that they checked before. And now they've got to change it. All these places, and you know what? What really pisses me off is that I don't have a say in this. And these companies are kowtowing. Listen, Verizon, Coca-Cola, Unilever. They're all. I don't give a shit with regards to their advertising, where they spend their advertising or anything like that. I care that they are kowtowing. They're stopping advertising on social media because of possible racist ads. Procter and Gamble reviewing all their ads on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram because of possible racism in the ads. Listen, you can't make everybody happy all of the time. You're never going to do it. And guess what? There's always going to be people that hate you because you're white. They think you're rich. You're a white person. You're rich. Oh, down he goes. I'm watching this fight. I don't know who is it. Who it is that's fighting. Something Afanasiev or something. He just got clocked. He's bloody. Is it the end of the round or the end of the fight? Might be the end of the... Oh, it looks like it's the end of the round. And I mean, I got to look at this day in and day out. Every time I go to the news, I got to see it. And every time I go to the news, I've got to see, something like CNN, even the BBC about... Now they're talking about how in the UK, most blacks think that the country is racist and most whites think it's not. Well, I'm here to tell you, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. No offense to anybody, but I don't think that there is any systemic racism in the United States. I've thought about it long and hard. I don't think there is. And if that's offensive, tough shit. It offends me when you drive up next to me and I can hear the swearing and the music coming from your car. Well, yeah, that's something else, Or kill cops. Kill the pigs. Next, bands with white musicians can't do covers of black band songs. Yeah, but if there's a black band, they can do whatever they want. And this is what I'm offended that if you did a movie that says black men can't surf, you would be vilified. But it's okay to say white men can't jump. That's the title of a movie. Yeah, I know. I understand Beyond Trinity. I understand why they do it. But you would think that at some point they would go, all right, listen, enough is enough. No, it hasn't been. And I saw that about how, Gone with the Wind, and God forbid they see Blazing Saddles. Hilarious movie. And listen, how many times have you seen... Yeah, exactly, Jono. Where does your rights end and my rights begin? What about that movie White Chicks? Oh, you can dress up as a white person or as a wait a minute. How's it go? Another thing is the whole blackface. Apologizing about the blackface. Get over it. It's not done to... I don't think the intention is to be racist. I think the intention is to cover the fact that person was black or is black. You see the news about the guy who organizes and flew an airplane? Yes, I saw that. He got sacked from his job. So you're not allowed to say white lives matter, but you're allowed to say black lives matter. What if I said purple lives matter? Would I get fired from my job? Listen, fuck all these people. If you don't like me, that's fine. If you don't like how I think, that's fine. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck. And I got really very little to lose. If you say anything disparaging about Bob Marley, a Mini Cooper full of Jamaican nurses pulls up and they beat you with their purse, and it really happens. I'll say this about Bob Marley, and I don't know a huge amount about him. But he's a human being, and as a human being, all human beings have flaws, period. Now, if you're a guy like George Floyd, who holds a shotgun up against a pregnant woman, I think you're a piece of shit, and you will forever be known as a piece of shit. If you're a guy like, what was this last guy's name? Brooks? I'm not even going to say his first name. If you're a guy like this guy Brooks, and you neglected your children and you were cruel to your children, then probably you're a piece of shit. I don't know. I don't know the guy. Never knew him. He might be a nice lad with many, many problems. Who knows? Now, it would be best if the guy didn't die. I mean, you know. But guess what? Again, how about, and I've seen some people, black people and whites, starting to increase slowly but surely. But I have seen some of them saying, hey, how about we take responsibility? This Black Lives Matter bullocks was set back race relations 60 years, never know it this bad in my life. No, I've never known it either. And like I said, I grew up and I still remember the whole, you know, black people sit in the back of the bus kind of thing. And, you know, I still remember that as a little baby, a little kid. I still remember walking along going, why are the black people treated differently? You know, I didn't understand it. Oh, and you know, here's the thing. What about the lady in the car who is in her car and she's calling 911 and they're telling her, call City Hall? Listen, if you're in a car and you start driving by Black Lives Matter, I'm sorry, run the motherfuckers over. Because if you're in danger and they're trying to break into the car, you don't know, they could beat you half to death. They could hit you with one punch. The punch knocks you sideways. You fall over. You hit your head on the pavement, and you're dead as your little kids sit there. So I'm sorry. My mentality is, fuck you. If you didn't do this and you took responsibility and respected my own property, I wouldn't run your sorry ass over. I feel better for saying that. Now, in Princeton, they're dropping Woodrow Wilson's name from the school due to racist thoughts. Racist thinking, excuse me. Got to get it right. Christopher Eisgruber, I guess he is the, well, it doesn't say his title, announced the institution's decision in a statement published on the school's website. He cited Wilson's racist views and policies as the main, as the main factor in the decision. Now let's see. Unfreaking believable. Board of Trustees concludes that Wilson's racist views and policies make him an inappropriate namesake for the School of Public and International Affairs Residential College. Ugh. They've reviewed, there is a Wilson Legacy Review Committee process and report. Wilson's racism was significant and consequential, even by the standards of his own time. Oh, come on. Listen. This is what I mean about the cancel culture. Everything's got to be canceled. How about you move the fuck on? And they're asking for $14 trillion. The guy, I didn't know this. I thought the head of Black Entertainment had said, hey, we need to, come together and we need to stop all this. And he was actually siding against Black Lives Matter. I'm talking about the BET president. No, what he's done is he is asking for reparations of $14 trillion. $14 trillion. Guess who he wants to pay it? The taxpayers. Well, wait a minute. Everybody here is a taxpayer, or maybe they're not, but you're part of one of these. You're part of the group that supposedly pays taxes, whether you are technically giving money to the IRS or not. But it's ridiculous. Purple Lives Matter will get you in trouble. Tinky Winky. Who the hell's Tinky? See, I don't even know who. It's like, Jesus Christ. Listen, I'm not going to try to ever appease anybody. And this is how it is in America. I try to be respectful to everybody. And I think you just have to remember that. But, it's like now, it's like, holy shit. Make sure you get all your Mark Twain books before they're banned. Exactly. Now, what happens to all the movies that use the N-word? I'm talking about in the last 5 or 10 years. What about all the movies that use that word? Should they be banned? Oh, a black person said it, we're not going to ban the movie. Well, listen, if they don't want it said, then maybe they shouldn't say it. As simple as that. Tinky Winky. I mean, how important is Tinky Winky? John Wayne. John Wayne was also a flawed individual. I am a flawed individual. Beyond Trinity, he's a flawed individual. Gennaro, we know of your flaws with baristas. But that's the point. Everybody has done something. Here in Thailand, they say, oh, well, don't beat your wife, kick the dog. You kick the dog and get out your frustration, that's okay. Now, I don't think it's okay, of course, but that's, there's actually a book written called Kicking Dogs by a guy named, what's his name? Colin Pipprell. And I really like the book, but anyway, if they're serious about Black Lives Matter, then they should ban the glorification of black gang culture, but they never will, because it's their way out, and that's acceptable. Listen, I'm a fucked up individual. And the problem with me is I have no filter. Oh, Jono, believe me, I don't even have to go into that. We already know. All right, please don't make me expound on that. I'll just shut up. It's better I shut up. Everybody's flawed. Flawed lives matter. They do. Flawed lives matters. I'm beyond irritated at this point. I'm like, I just, if somebody says the reason now I don't even want to go onto Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, I don't want to get into it with somebody on there and go, shut the fuck up, you fucking moron. Listen, I agree there are problems. Some of them happen to be racial. But guess what? What about the racial problems against Caucasians, against other races? Nobody talks about that. Or they're not talked about very much. But man, Black Lives Matter, they stand up and scream bloody murder. Princeton is part of an America that has too often disregarded, ignored, or excused racism, allowing the persistence of systems that discriminate against black people. When Derek Chauvin knelt for nearly 9 minutes on George Floyd's neck while bystanders recorded his cruelty, he might have assumed that the system would disregard, ignore, or excuse this conduct, as it had done in response to past complaints against him. Now, how do they know that? They are assuming this. It's an assumption. Listen, he obviously was not a good cop. This was an extremely troubled individual for him to want to do what he did to this guy, to the point where the guy was dead and he kept his knee on his neck. That wasn't the right way to handle things. Okay, and he's going to court. He's part of the system now. You have to trust the system. If you don't want to trust the system, okay, well, then you don't really have much of a choice. Then make some changes with the laws and that kind of thing. All the rioting in the world, all the pulling down of statues in the world isn't going to do anything. In fact, I am more pissed off at Black Lives Matter than I've ever been in my life, because I never even gave them a second thought. I didn't give a shit. All I care about is my life and my family's life and my friend's life, and people are treated decently. Which is why if you go to a slum, if you are half a decent person, you don't look down on somebody for having less money than you, or you don't look up to somebody for having more money than you. You look up to people for their accomplishments and for their character. You look down on people for being pieces of shit and doing stuff like punching old ladies in the face. I saw they arrested this 18-year-old kid. 18 years old. The guy who punched this Macy's this black guy who punched a white Macy's employee. They arrested him. He's 18 years old. All I got to say is, what a fucking sad, sad situation. It's sad because this kid's 18 years old and he did something so stupid and so vile. Even more sad is that some guy working, hey, we're all here for the same reason. Just trying to make a living, trying to survive, trying to make a buck. And you're standing there working. I'll be honest. That's something that I think about all the time. Anytime I go out, especially in the past, I used to think to myself, somebody comes up to me, hey man, you're an American in Bangkok, and if they come at me like in an aggressive manner, I'm like thinking to myself, am I going to have to protect myself? Because I don't trust people. Because there are people like this. And then I think to myself, my kid's 19 years old. This kid is 18. I can't see my kid doing that to anyone, ever. He's too gentle. He's really. And I think about that and I'm just like, it's beyond crazy. It's beyond crazy that someone would even do that. What kind of person does that? A flawed individual? A flawed individual who happens to be black. It's too much. Now, what do you think that does to the mentality of whites, Latinos, Asians in America when they see a black guy just walk up to some innocent guy? He could say he called him the N-word. Somehow I kind of doubt it. And the guy gets punched in the face and battered. The guy's going, I'm sorry. He didn't even know what the hell he did. What do you think that does to our mentality? My mentality is it fucking pisses me off. It makes me angry against people who are anti-white simply because, because of his skin color. Where's the racism there? Where are the cries of racism? You don't hear it. Because it's not related to the skin color necessarily as it is the character of the person. That guy's a piece of shit, even if he is a kid. Destroying the country I love. I know that the polls supposedly show that Trump is behind Biden. I don't know if I buy that, to be honest. And also, I don't know that the silent majority isn't going to be able to do enough for Trump. But I can tell you, at this point, I just don't see myself moving back to the United States ever. I barely want to go there now. If I didn't have family there, I would never go back. And I'm saying never. Why should I have to pay reparations? I live in Massachusetts. Yeah, exactly. Listen, why should I? Oh, I dare say that this election is going to be, it's going to get crazy, man. I think it's going to get really crazy no matter how it goes. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. How are they going to segregate the taxes in order to pay, I've got 0.1% of black in me. It's like, wait a minute, well, what about the Irish who came over? What about the Italians who came over? The Irish, what was it? Hell's Kitchen. They got shit on for decades. Do they get any reparations? How do you determine this? Listen, slavery's been going on around the world for centuries, if not longer. And one thing I just saw today in a little video is that, the one thing to remember is that the United States is one of the few places to actually end slavery. And they are actually one of the most diverse, it is one of the most diverse countries and welcoming countries, which is why so many people want to come to America. And if you think they don't, and that it's a myth, then look at all the people trying to sneak in, trying to say, oh, we're not illegal, we're undocumented. Listen, if you really don't want to be there, then get the fuck out. And don't try to come to my country. But guess what? They'll keep coming. They don't give a shit what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So this has all gone way too far. Way, way too far. Now, in Portland, protesters tore down the racist statue of Thomas Jefferson. All right, we know that Jefferson and Washington had slaves. What do you do in a time when it is the norm? Right now, the norm is to use the internet and to talk shit on the internet. People do that all the time. It's a norm to troll people. Well, what's going to happen in another 50 years? If you trolled somebody, you're going to go to jail for it? It's too much. The teardown came about during a march organized by Rose City Justice to protest police brutality, one of the many demonstrations in weeks following the death of George Floyd while in the custody of the Minneapolis Police Department. Let me just say something, and I know that we already know this, but I'm going to reiterate. All of what's going on doesn't have a fucking thing to do with George Floyd. Nothing. It doesn't have a thing to do with George Floyd. Listen, I don't think that, if I was the son, let's say I was the 20-year-old son of a guy who was white, and a black officer kneeled down on his neck and killed him, I'd be pissed. I can tell you, I know I'd be pissed off. Now, would I go rioting and burning? No. I mean, look what they did in Atlanta after this Brooks guy. This is a guy, he broke the fucking law. And they're talking about, well, they should have just let him go, and then later on, they could have captured him. Oh yeah, that's a good mentality. That's an idiot mentality. We'll just let him go. He's got the stun gun. Maybe he'll hurt the police officer. Maybe he'll hurt somebody else. Maybe he's on the run, and so when the cops do catch up to him, he's going to have weapons, and he's going to try to shoot it out with them. It's just ridiculous. George Washington? I mean, how could you... I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. What I do know is that it's time to move the fuck on. I've had enough of all this Black Lives Matter fucking... Let me tell you something. I always appreciated the Native Americans, the Indians, cowboys and Indians and all that. I always appreciated the movies. I always tried to appreciate their culture. I've heard people speak about this in university. I've heard about all this kind of stuff. I know about it. And they've gone too goddamn far. And if they want to fight from the U.S. government, I dare say they're going to get it. They're going to get thrown in jail. What's going to happen is this movement is not going to continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. You saw what's happened and what is happening in Seattle. The minute that a group of, say, 10 people gets shot down, they're going to cry like the little bitches, the little pansies that they are. They're going to whine and cry about, why did you do this? Because you broke the fucking law and it was our last option. You were fighting us, you were trying to hurt us. We told you to back up, and yet you did not do so. Now, give me a few minutes from this. Please, if you have not done so already, take a look at my website at anamericaninbangkok.com. Go down below the video. There should be some, if you're in North America at least, there should be some shirts and mugs available for purchase. Books, Patreon patron. You can become a sponsor of this channel for as little as $3.99. What else? I think that's it. Oh, you can actually get something through Amazon. If you go down below, I got a little shop. But even if you don't buy some from the shop, if you just go, I get a few cents from that. Doesn't cost you anything extra. So, however you want to do it, you guys are the ones who make it possible for me to continue doing what I do, which is at the moment during this pandemic, excuse me, mainly staying inside and talking about what's going on, which brings me to another point, the pandemic. Supposedly things are getting worse. I really have my doubts about that because supposedly there are more tests now. So if there's more tests, that would mean there are probably more people going to show up as positive. At this point, I have no idea what the fuck is the truth and what is not. The FBI or the military or whoever, I hope they smash them. Let me tell you something. I'm not the most merciful guy. If I believe in something, I don't believe you need to show mercy because they don't show mercy for the people that they are getting violent against, demonstrating violence, and they show no mercy when it comes to this. So why show mercy for them? Because you know what? They're the kind of people that if you they said it a little while ago, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And if you knock them down once, they're going to get up, they're going to keep fighting. So what you do is you put them out of their misery. This is not an anti-black thing. This is what I'm talking about is not geared against blacks. Because if you look, there's a lot of whites who are engaged in these protests or whatever you want to call them, peaceful or otherwise. They're engaged in these violent activities. They're engaged in these situations where they're standing in front of the police. They're not black. So, if you want to follow the logic of some of these people, why are they bothering to protest? Let Black Lives Matter handle it. Let it all pan out. What are you getting involved for? What are you taking over police precincts for? It's ridiculous, man. Anyway, good morning, Niall. Mr. Mitch, what's happening? I think, the right thing to do is arrest people who break the law. And this is the thing. You cannot let it get to the point where you're allowing the law to be broken. Yeah, this is the thing, Pierre. I'm surprised, to be completely honest, just how many people who are not black are protesting and talking all kinds of smack to black police officers. It's just ridiculous. Now, trying to get away from this for a moment because it is disgusting that it's going on and on and on, and it just never stops. I mean, it's like, okay, let's stop. If you're white, you can't make the voice of a black person. How about I'm white and I'm not a redneck, I'm not a southerner, and I can talk like a southerner. Y'all come back now. That kind of shit. Well, I'm not allowed to do that. What's next? It's just, it's one thing after another, man. You know? And that's why I think if you're over here in Thailand or wherever you are, I don't want to say that you should be like an ostrich and put your head, in the sand, because I don't think that's the answer. But I do think that, at least me, I need that media blackout once in a while. I mean, come on, you're taking away the name of the airport in Orange County because John Wayne made some comments 50 years ago. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And then what? See, the thing is, it's never going to be considered enough. To be fair, no one cared about Selma in the 60s until white people showed up to protest along John Lewis and the march when the 3 civil rights activists were killed in Mississippi and investigated because 2 of them were white. Yeah, well, I suspect that this is a little bit of a different time than it was back in the 60s. What's this here? Fortunately, the president has signed an order protecting federal monuments and statutes from vandalism, and I believe he just put something out where he showed the faces of 15 people. And the thing is that who is it for these people to say, oh, well, we don't want it anymore? It's not up to you. And it's not up to some city councilman who just on a whim decides he wants to take things down. Well, and this is the thing. Listen, that was 50-something years ago. I don't know what color Jesus is because I don't believe in Jesus. So guess what? It doesn't matter to me. I don't really care if he's white or black. Well, the thing is that there comes a point when I believe that the people who represent the black leaders and people in Black Lives Matter, they get to the point where they get frustrated, they don't know what to do, and so then people lash out. And the only way they know how to lash out is through violence. I don't think it's right. I do think they need to have some talks, and I do think that maybe they need to set some of these people straight, because why should anybody nowadays pay part of a $14 trillion, proposed $14 trillion reparations to blacks around the country? Why? What did I do? What did my parents do? They didn't do anything. They didn't own slaves. So, if you think I'm going to pay, you put me in jail before I fucking pay a dime towards that shit. I was working with a black guy. We were at a protest in Fort Greene Park. He was like, man, there's no brothers here. Santa is white. He has to go. Oh, that's going to happen. What about his elves? He's not an equal opportunity employer. Okay, I get it. I get it. All right, but don't force people to do something because it's not going to stick. Let me tell you something. If I was at this point, if I opened a business in the United States, I still believe you need to hire the most appropriate candidate. That's how you do it. You don't worry about his color. You don't worry about where he comes from. You just worry about, is he legal? You got a social security number? Is he legal? And who's the most appropriate for the job? You can't say that beyond Trinity. You can't call them midgets. They're vertically challenged. What's next? The Three Stooges? They're going to take the Three Stooges off? They're going to take the Little Rascals? Our Gang? They're going to take that off the air? They're never going to show that again? Little people. Okay, whatever. I don't even know what the fuck to call them anymore. And guess what? I'm not keeping up with it. I'm not going to just purposely try to keep up with it. If I say something that people find offensive, then if they want to say something, they can say, "Hey, Scott, you're not supposed to say that." I'd be like, okay, whatever, buddy. You know. And I think most people, they don't set out to be offensive to others. Now I know that there are definitely white peoples who don't give a shit and they'll be offensive and call blacks and Latinos all kinds of offensive names. But I also think that there are other people that see, the whites don't get offended by it. They don't cry and whine and go and he was racist against me, because people go, yeah, so. Remember Chief Big Wheel? No, I don't. I remember, what was his name? Chief J Strongbow, or, I can't keep up with all this shit, I've been here too long at this point, and I don't, and what it is I just don't have the desire. I don't give a flying fuck. I don't care about all these names, especially when it comes to gender. Oh, yeah, F Troop. Well, I never watched it all that much. I remember the guy who was he was the lead. What the hell was his name? Forrest something? I don't remember. Cancel culture is out of control. It's sad because the original point was legitimate. People hate libs because they don't know when to call it a day with the PC brigade. Yeah. Listen, YouTube can come out with all the sensitivity training that they want. But there's going to be a point where there will be competition to YouTube. YouTube will have to change, for better or worse. They're going to have to change more or less. They're going to have to reduce things. They're going to have to increase things, whatever. But like I said, you got Verizon, Coca-Cola, Unilever. They all are stopping their advertising on Facebook and other social media. And Procter & Gamble, which is huge, they're reviewing their own ads and their policies with regards to advertising. The Simpsons, you're getting rid of Apu. You're getting rid of Cleveland Brown. Mike Henry from the Family Guy announced he will no longer voice the role of Cleveland Brown, while the creators of Simpsons announced they would stop using white actors to play non-white roles as well. Mike Henry said in a tweet he will no longer play the part of Cleveland Brown, a black character who has appeared on the edgy animated comedy since its debut in 1999. Yeah, you got Apu. Oh, yeah, Dr. Hibbert. Let's see, Dr. Hibbert, I don't remember him. Is he supposed to be black? It wasn't immediately clear how these characters were going to be dealt with at the series. The Family Guy roster also features other non-white characters played by white performers such as Trisha Takanawa, a Japanese-American news reporter, Alex Borstein. I don't watch much TV, anymore, and these kind of things. So I just try not to give it too much weight. There is a campaign to ban the England rugby anthem, "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot," as it was written by a dude during slavery. It's unreal and endless. Well, what about the national anthem? They're trying to actually change the national anthem. They're talking about a Beyonce song. Listen, if they make it a Beyonce song, America's officially dead. It's fucking dead. I'm sorry. First of all, I hate Beyonce's music. I fucking can't stand it. I can't stand her. I can't stand Kanye West. Not because I don't like people's music who happen to be African American or black, whatever you want to call them. I love Bob Marley. He's black. But comedians are in a bit of a quandary because they have to be very, very careful. And this is why, like, Jerry Seinfeld, who is a very clean comic, came out and said he won't do colleges anymore. Joe Rogan won't do colleges anymore. Because he's like, fuck you, man. The amount of backlash you get from these douchebags is excessive. Let me go on. It's one thing after another. You know what really grinds my gears? No, I can't stand Kim Kardashian either. I don't like her. I don't like her ass. I've never liked asses like that. I don't like those big asses. It doesn't do a thing for me. Okay, let me just read a title, okay, from CNN right now. Protection for Trump. Others are on their own. Okay. Understandably, that is the headline. Now, beneath the picture, Trump is just simply looking over to the left. You don't know in what context he was looking to the left. And below it says, the president, concerned with how it would look if he got sick, insists on stronger protections even as he seeks to move past the pandemic. Well, listen, you ain't got a choice at this point. The government can't keep printing money out. They can't keep giving people checks and rebates and refunds and tax credits and billions of dollars. They can't keep doing it. They have to go back to work. They're going to have to take their chances. It's going to have to happen. But see, here they are. This Kevin Liptak, I've really become one of his biggest detractors. I just can't stand the guy. Everything he writes. As far as I know, you can say big ass. Big ass. That's the name of a group here in Thailand. Do you know that? A rock group. Very popular group. Big ass. I mean, even my kids know who Big Ass is. They also know what a big ass is. You know. But see, so this guy comes out with this article. Now, this is this is an opinion piece. This is not truth. And it's always several officials, several unnamed officials stated that blah, 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 blah. All right, really. I could do that. Listen, several unnamed officials stated that XYZ. Oh, I don't have to give my sources. So if you think they don't do that, you better think again. And they're talking about the people here, the staffers who have caught the coronavirus. What do you think? You think nobody's going to catch it? Of course people are going to catch it. That's why so many people have already caught it. It's infectious. It's a type of virus that spreads very quickly and easily. But the biggest takeaway should be that not really many people die from this. Larry Storch? No, I was talking about I forget the guy's name. Let me look it up. I'll look this up so I can I mean, like what? They're going to take F Troop off the air now? I mean, they're never going to put it back on the air. Oh, we can't play that anymore. Forrest Tucker. He was the guy. And Ken Berry. Now, you know that they made fun of Indians in the show. They also made fun of themselves. Yeah, the Hekawi tribe. Oh, God. Where the heck are we We're the Hekawi. The original name for the tribe in the series, Fagawi, was changed after the censors discovered the sentence, "Where the Fagawi." I didn't know that. That's hilarious. So you can find it in all parts of culture, and you just can't keep canceling culture. It just can't be done. You can't do it for a number of reasons. All right, this Volante is on top of this green. I don't know what round. It's a third round. He's got 3 minutes left. And it looks like he's got him in a bad spot, but we'll see what happens. I probably wouldn't be watching this if not for Longhorns, who has not come up for air today. I said big booty on the phone at work and was called into the chief's office, so no. You see, I can't, I know already. It was funny because about 20 years ago, I was talking to my mother or something on the phone, and I was like, maybe I should just come home or something like that. And she said to me, what are you going to do? You're going to go get a job somewhere. You're older. You're probably going to have some younger guy who's your boss. He's going to give you some kind of bullshit. And she was talking about political correctness even back then. He's going to tell you something, or you can't say this, you can't say that, and you're going to be going, what the fuck? Well, nowadays, imagine it. Listen, I try to be understanding of people, and I don't want to get into politics. I do it on this channel, obviously, so that we have something to discuss, and for a number of reasons. But in the workplace, I would be like, listen, I'm not talking about it. You don't need to know who I vote for. You don't need to know anything about how I think politically. Yeah, what about that? What was his name? Troy. What's the big old country guy? He was on The Apprentice. He has that the Badonka Donk. What's the name? What's the guy's name? Badonka Donk. Country singer. Trace Atkins. Honky tonk Badonka Donk. Now, so Maurice Green, I just missed it. He just won. Must be the end of the fight, or either that or he came back and I haven't seen it now. I missed it. Let me see some. They don't say anything about the fact that he said badonkadonk. My car has a big boot. Longhorn, what up? My ride has a big boot. She said, did I hear you say big booty on the phone? Nothing working on my badonkadonk. My badonka. Spare us the details. Exactly. So yeah, there it is. Badonkadonk. Honky tonk badonkadonk. Now, are you allowed to say that? I mean, this song was made 15 years ago. Are we sure that's not going to get canceled? Are you allowed to say badonkadonk? Or big booty? Baby got back? What's the name of that song? Girl got big butt or something like that? How about Bertha Butt? Oh, yeah, I like big butts. Are you allowed to say you like big butts? If you're dating a girl and you say, honey, I really, I like you, you're a nice girl, but I don't really like big butts, and I find yours to be a little too big for me. I can't get over it, so we can't see each other anymore. Are you going to be charged with a crime? Is she going to get offended? She might get offended, but, I don't, listen, cool is all subjective. Hang on a second. Been sneezing all morning. Holy moly. I better put the mask on. There you go. Oh, yeah. Isn't that good? There you go. Now, if I sneeze, you guys will be safe. It's unbelievable, man. So, what's the answer? The answer to me is get back to freedom of speech. Get back to sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never harm me. Get back to it. Well, listen, beyond Trinity, I am offended by that question. It's offensive that you ask me that. Oh God! You see, here's. Let me just read this paragraph. The president continues to lead the whole of government response to COVID-19. I thought it was Mike Pence, and regularly receives updates on the work of the task force from the vice president. Okay, Washington spokesman Judd Deere told CNN. One official suggested Trump did not attend the briefing, so he would be spared from criticism if it went awry. Okay, which is the official? What official? Why is it you can talk about what the White House spokesman said, but you're not going to say anything that the official said, and you can always portray Trump as in the negative? I don't care if it's Trump or Obama. Why would you do that? Because it fits your agenda. Just flat out bullshit. Now, if you really want to hear some bullshit, I'm going to give you a little bit. It's just disgusting. Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg, who I fucking can't stand either one of them. And one's white and one's black. And I can't stand either frickin' one of them. It has nothing to do with their color. It has everything to do with their pinhead personalities. They got brains the size of a frickin' pea. They say that phrases like black sheep and blackmail and great white way should change. Are you kidding me? Are you joking me? Coronavirus lives matter. Thank you. I love it. You know what? I think I'm going to do something here. You remember this guy? Where's he at? I'm getting a little bit tired of him. There we go. He's gone. Say goodbye. Say goodnight, Gracie. Anyway. The View co-host Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar suggested on Wednesday that certain words needed to be changed because they carried connotations with the words white or black. Let me think about that. Snow White, White Christmas. Are we going to have to eliminate those from our vocabulary? Goldberg kicked things off by suggesting that people should stop calling Broadway the Great White Way and instead call it the Great Bright Way. As Goldberg noted, the Great White Way moniker refers to the lights on Broadway, specifically when electric lights were installed in 1880. Okay, so to me, again, more bullshit. It's just one thing after another. They never stop. Yeah, I'm wearing a Black Rifle coffee shirt. Oh, wow, am I racist against white people because of that? No, doesn't matter to me. Well, they did say blackmail, but let me go on. I like that, Whoopi, Behar said, and you know, it's interesting that a lot of English language has to be rethought. Blackmailing is negative, black sheep, negative. Those words are kind of like embedded in our psyches and may need to be changed. Why is a black sheep a bad thing and a white sheep is a good thing? Why? They're just sheep. Well, dumb fuck, because most sheeps are white. Fucking A. They range from pure white to dark chocolate brown. But let me see here what the percentages are. But I dare say that most sheep are white and that they are not the darker types. The highest percentage tends to be white, although maybe some New Zealanders or Aussies could tell me, or whoever. I don't want that coming off the wrong way. I'm looking at them. A flock of Australian white hair sheep in Mudingonga, Victoria, Australia. This is a new breed of hair sheep suited for the hot and varied Australian climate. So every sheep that I'm looking at, out of them, almost all of them are white. Some of them are dark brown. But the reason that they're calling it a black sheep, yeah, I mean, and then here you go with the white. Let me just go on here. The black male. Goldberg responded that she believes there's a problem with the way people think about words like that. Their comments came amid widespread racial tension and protests surrounding the deaths of black Americans like George Floyd, a Minneapolis man who died on May 25th while in police custody. According to History.com, the black in blackmail is thought to be a play on white money, the term for the silver coins which tenant farmers traditionally paid their legitimate rent. Black sheep is a phrase widely used to describe an outcast or something different from the in-group. The phrases, according to grammarists, may have originated with a 16th century translation of the book of Genesis, which reads, all black sheep among the lambs. Okay, so I rest my case. And these freaking idiots, they ought to just shut this view down. But of course, there's some freaking stupid ass sitting out there listening to them every day. Oh, Joy knows what she's talking about. No, she doesn't. She's a fucking idiot. She's out of touch. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. And Whoopi Goldberg, when has she done anything worth a shit? When was the last time? The Color Purple? She hasn't done shit in years. Who is she? She's about as popular as I am. Should white people be offended that black ball scores maximum points in a game of snooker but if you pot the white ball, it's a foul? Well, yeah, but what about, we're playing 8-ball and the 8-ball happens to be black. Why can't it be white? I'm offended. Yeah, Minneapolis criminal, exactly. And it goes back to my 3 tenets, which are show respect, take responsibility, and get real. And the sooner they do this, and listen, I hear all these leaders, Louis Farrakhan and fucking Al Sharpton. I don't want to say anything because, I don't want any problems on YouTube. Another one of my least favorite people. Jesse Jackson, another one of my least favorite people. All these guys, they're opportunists. That's what they are to me. That's how I view them. Am I entitled to my opinion, or is somebody going to come and beat the living hell out of me? Or am I allowed some semblance of free speech? Can I disagree? Am I allowed to disagree? What are we going to... It's called the agree culture. You must agree, or you're going to get the holy hell beat out of you. All right, now, Ben Shapiro, who always seems to revel in bashing the people that are trying to get away with stuff. I just saw something on Amazon the other day, and that was the book by Robin DiAngelo, and it's called White Fragility. Now, she informs us that all white people are sinners by nature. Fuck you. All people are sinners by nature. And sinner, what's a sinner? By whose definition? Oh, you didn't do it missionary, now you're a sinner? You had sex before marriage, now you're a sinner? It's just so fucking ludicrous. Inculcated in the evils of whiteness and utterly incapable of repenting such sin. Unless, of course, they purchase a diversity training course. DiAngelo says it isn't enough to oppose racism. We must interrupt the systems in which we live in order to become anti-racist, a vaguely defined term apparently meaning nothing so much as parroting the more purple writings of Ibram X. Kendi. I don't know who that is, and why the fuck do I care who he is or she is? Hannah Jones, meanwhile, happily takes credit for the looting and rioting that has racked the country and that she has spent time justifying. She recently thanked a critic online for terming this unrest the 1619 riots. Furthermore, we are informed by the arbiter of the great and the good that we must never forget that figures like Ulysses S. Grant, a man who wrecked the Confederacy and devastated the Ku Klux Klan, but also held one of his wife's slaves in bondage before freeing him, were men of our times. After all, Hitler was a man of his time. Osama bin Laden was a man of his time, she said in a now deleted tweet. Listen, I got this lady, well, I'm not going to talk about it. Better I don't talk about it. It's just ridiculous. Black bowling balls hitting those innocent white pins. Why are Asians not offended that the game of chess only has black and white pieces? Religion is poison. Y'all remember Jerry Falwell? Yeah, what was that other little guy? He was a little, I think he's dead now. He was with Jessica Hahn. What was that guy's name? I miss Christopher Hutchins. Yeah, wish he was still alive. Krung Thep is the proper name for the city in Bangkok, in Thailand. I find Bangkok offensive. Actually, it's a much longer name than Krung Thep. But yes, you're right, Gennaro. Don't make me say it because I'm not going to. Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much. You are the first and only contribution in this stream. And let me tell you something. I'd like to, like I was talking about my trip, I may actually fly. I may fly to Nakhon Phanom. The plan is to fly to Nakhon Phanom and then to try to find a boat that goes all the way to Bangkok. I don't know if that's going to be possible. I'm not sure if I want to try to walk that entire distance. And then to go to Bangkok and go to this, what is it called? Wat Phu Top, which is a big temple that's on top of this mountain that provides an incredible view, and you're walking around a mountain on a thin, narrow wooden platform. So that's one of the things I have planned. But what I'd like to do is continue the journey and just keep going up through northern Thailand, around and just trace the border and just continue as long as I can go. Now, you know, I'm not going, believe me, I'm not going. This will be a good fight here for those who are watching the UFC. Mike Perry and Mickey Gall. I don't know if Mickey Gall is there yet. Mike Perry can fight, but we'll see. Why are there more white piano keys than black? How long before Black Lives Matter demands equality for... Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous, man. You know, it's like... I don't even... You know, I mean, like, what about zebras? Do you have more black stripes than white? That zebra's racist. If you call him a white zebra, but he's got more black stripes than white, you're racist. It's fucking ridiculous. Really, it's really ridiculous. Let me see something here. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. There we go. Jim Baker. Yeah, Jim Baker. Oh, yeah, I'm sure he really hammered Jessica Hahn. Yeah, he really gave her a good schlupping. Come on. You know, these guys, this is the thing about religion. You know, don't get me started on religion. Religion and politics and money. You're not supposed to talk about any of them. But we talk about all of them here. You know why? Because why can't you talk about certain things? You know why? Because we have been pressured by certain groups, certain people, to not say things and to refrain from saying things. And I understand, like I was saying the other day, my mother has taught me when I was growing up, keep your opinion to yourself. But nowadays, if you say anything, whether it's an opinion or you just happen to say it in passing, if you say the wrong thing, people shit all over you. People, you know, they want to give you the thumbs down. They want to get you booted. They want to get you banned. They want to block you. They want to, you know, and I mean, I understand because let me tell you something. When I started seeing all these black squares coming up for Black Lives Matter on Instagram, I had to delete some of my favorite people. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're kowtowing to this bullshit? That's what it is to me. It's bullshit. It's my opinion. And I unfollowed them. Because you know what? I don't want to see him. I don't want to hear him. I'm tired of hearing about this bullshit. How about show me a systemic problem in the police force where blacks who follow the instructions of the police officers are battered for no other reason than sitting there. I'm not talking about George Floyd. We already know that case is going before court. And from the looks of things, it looks like the guy's going to be guilty. Yeah, Tammy Faye was one scary looking hoe. And she, with the pancake makeup and the fake eyelashes and, all that kind of stuff. Listen, when you start getting your eyebrows tattooed on and you shave your eyebrows off, something's wrong. I'm really anxious to see how this fight turns out here. Unfortunately, I can't show it, But Mickey Gall is 28. He's in good shape. He's always in good shape, and he's got good submissions. Oh, but I don't know if his hands are as good as Mike Perry. He just got clipped. And I believe that Mike Perry has more experience, quite a bit more experience than him. So this is a tough fight. Longhorns, are you watching this? It looks to me that Perry is the stronger of the punchers, but you never know with these guys, kind of tall, lanky guys, because they're the ones who you got to be careful of. They got the knees, they got the range, and if they get you down on the ground, they can slap a chokehold on you with their legs. I mean, they can do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it looks to me that, anything can happen here, but it looks to me that Perry is too strong. It's a nice little kick there. I may go to Nong Khai also. This would be probably Tuesday of next week. I'm leaving. I'll go to Nakhon Phanom. I don't know how I'm going to get to wherever I decide to go, but if I can, I'll do a trip around the outer edge of Thailand. It depends on how things go, and the cost of things. It's really difficult in some of these places. You find a hotel and it doesn't tell you the price of the hotel. They don't have a website, and I'm not about to call every single hotel. I mean, there's 4 or 5 hotels I've looked at in different areas already. None of them have. Some of them don't even have a phone number. Which is pretty funny. So that tells you that they're probably not that much money. They're probably a couple $100 baht, which is a good deal even nowadays. But, yeah, I think this Mickey Gall is in trouble, but we'll see. It looks like he got nailed. It looks like he's working really hard just to keep this guy off of him. Let's see, what else? Let's see, here we go. Here's the big one. This is one of the big ones for the day. L'Oreal, did he just knock him down? L'Oreal, the cosmetics company, announced they will be removing the words whitening, all the similar words, whitening, lightening, skin lightening, fairness, from all their skin evening products. The move signals a shift by beauty giants to stand up against racial stereotypes. What fucking racial stereotypes? Here in Thailand, the reason that people, the women, want to have lighter skin is because they don't want to be viewed as someone who worked on a farm, because that's viewed as being a lower class. Now, say what you will about it. Why would you change your product line to kowtow to everybody? L'Oreal's skin brightening creams are among the most popular on the market and are targeted towards Asian, African, and Caribbean buyers who face a cultural stigma where lighter skin is perceived as more desirable. Okay, so is their changing the name of their product, is their changing the name of their product going to make a difference in the way that um, Asians and Caribbeans, their culture views them? I don't think so. Oh, African also, sorry. L'Oreal's promise for change comes a day after consumer products leader Unilever announced they'd be changing the name of their Fair and Lovely cream that is popular in Asia for skin lightening. So they're going to change the name of their product, which is Fair and Lovely cream. That's just beyond me, man. It really, it's. Where do you go from there? Fair and Lovely. No, now we have to change it to what? Well, I mean, yeah, I don't understand that either. Why are you allowed to have a tanning product? People want to be darker and some people want to be whiter. What the fuck is going on in the world? It's so fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry. The product reportedly generated $500 million in revenue in India last year. So I guess they really care about the name, according to Yahoo News, but the brand says they are working to acknowledge how their terminology and branding perpetuates racist stereotypes. They probably think they can make more money. It doesn't have anything to fucking do with racism. It's an opportunity for them because they've made $500 million in India alone. And that's not because the people don't want to be whiter. They do. Just like I would like to be tanner, more brown. I don't want to be pasty white. We are fully committed to having a global portfolio of skincare brands that is inclusive and cares for all skin tones, celebrating greater diversity of beauty. Oh, fuck. If I hear that word diversity anymore, I'm going to have to shoot myself. It's so ridiculous. Sunny Jane, the head of Unilever's beauty and personal care, said, "We recognize that the use of fair, white, and light suggests a singular ideal of beauty that we don't think is right, and we want to address this." Oh, fuck you, you fucking kowtowing piece of shit, pandering, worthless company. Yeah, I'm offended. I've got curly hair. Why do they have straighteners? What's wrong with my curly hair? Are you telling me my curly hair is wrong? I've got to have a straightener because I want to have it straightened? What about all the people that want to have whiter skin or darker skin? It's just... Need a bit of sleep now. Yeah, me too. So our tanning products, culture preserve. Maybe hair relaxers and straighteners shouldn't be marketed anymore. What's wrong with wearing an afro? And what's wrong with having long, blonde, straight hair? I mean, I understand. It's like, oh. Looks like Gall's got him in. Oh, he had him, but no longer. Like I said earlier, companies are forced to cave in. Their focus is making money. Everything else is BS to appease current events. And that is part of the other problem, is that it's always money first. It's not the reality. The reality is that most of them don't give a flying fuck about how Asian and African and Indian and any other culture feels about their product and their name. Caribbean. Or Caribbean. Am I allowed to say it Caribbean? Can I say tomato? Or do I have to say tomato? Are people going to get offended by me saying tomato? Whatever happened to that? It's like you say tomato, I say tomato. Okay, well, you say fair and lovely. And I either buy it or don't. Johnson & Johnson has also pledged to discontinue some of their Neutrogena and Clean and Clear products, advertised as dark spot reducers in Asia and the Middle East. Well, now, what would you... If it's a dark spot reducer, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a dark person that wants to reduce a spot. So how is that racist? If I have a dark spot on my neck or on my arm and I want to reduce it, I want to make that go away. Why is that a problem? Just comments to illustrate a point beyond Trinity. Yeah. Anyway, listen. I don't think people like to talk about this all that much, to be completely honest. So we're going to change the subject briefly. And we're going to talk about Phase 5 here in Thailand. And the rules are supposed to be announced tomorrow. On Monday, the Center for the COVID-19 Situation Administration will hold a significant meeting led by Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha to decide several major issues of importance to Thailand as well as foreigners hoping to come into the country. The issues to be discussed and expected to be resolved are an official decision on Phase 5 relief measures and the date of relaxation. This includes bars, pubs, nightclubs, karaoke's, live music venues, and others that have been closed since March due to the emergency decree. Previously, it was announced that they aim to start Phase 5 on July 1st with a list of proposed rules and regulations disclosed at a press conference earlier this week. Monday's meeting will make a final decision on going ahead with this phase and the final rules for the nightlife-related venues. Schools are also a major part of Phase 5 relief and are scheduled to start classes next week, while nightlife owners have been cautioned to prepare for reopening but await final orders. A decision on whether children living near the borders of Laos, Myanmar, and Cambodia. Oh shit, he's getting hammered by the elbows in the fight. It looks like that's the end of the round. Who generally attend Thai schools will be allowed to attend the new school semester. So, that's a bit worrying for me because my son starts school next week and he is going into school. So what happens if he comes back, he gets it, he doesn't have any problems, he's asymptomatic, he comes back and he gives it to me, and I die. Could happen. Will tourists still be required for a 14-day quarantine? I believe so. Possibly a final decision between the government and the Civil Aviation Authority on Thailand on the lifting of the current ban on inbound international travel, allowing a limited number of foreigners into the country. Current indications are that those holding work permits, some medical tourists, diplomats, and a limited number of those with Thai dependents will be allowed first. No general opening for tourists is expected. Decision on the recommendation by the National Security Council that the emergency decree will be extended for an additional month. If approved, it will need approval from the cabinet, which is scheduled to meet on Tuesday. Easing social distancing measures at some venues, especially transportation. Phase 5, if finalized, is expected to see significant rise in the use of public transportation, and as a result, to ease social distancing on buses and trains. This is supposed to be approved. Travel bubble discussions have been suspended until August and further review of the COVID-19 situation worldwide. I believe that 14-day quarantine is still going to be in place. Less than 2 minutes left. On what? On this fight? I got 4 minutes left. Oh, now I got 20 seconds. Oh, there he goes. He's trying to get that. He's trying to lock that in. Oh. Is that the end of the fight? They still have no idea what to do for schools this fall here. Are they having classes every day? My son's school, when I'm not, is alternating days by grade. As far as I know, where my kid's going, they're every day. That could change at any time. Basically, they have a little a group that, with their school, where for their particular grade, I think there's only 20 kids allowed per class, which I don't get the logic of all this, you know. So you have to plan a 45-day vacation, 14 days in quarantine, 14 days to have fun, and 14 days quarantine when you arrive home. Well, that's actually 42 days beyond Trinity. I hate to correct your math, but yes, that kind of looks like what it's supposed to do. Thailand has to be given credit with low virus numbers. It does. I don't know what to believe at this point. I mean, do you believe the numbers? I would think you should. Do you believe the numbers in the United States? When you have hospitals clamoring for that extra dollar, clamoring for grants and money that's being dispersed by the U.S. government, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't account for fly time. Okay, well, it's a day maybe, because you gain it one day and you lose it another. So Mickey Gall lost this fight. He didn't win this fight. There's no way in hell. That guy was too strong for him. Let's see here. Yep. He won it. That was pretty clear. There you have it. Now what? Is that the last fight before the main event or what? Anyway. So that's what's going on in Thailand. Other than that, listen, we could talk about what's going on in the United States all day long, but the virus, supposedly the number of cases have spiked in Texas and Florida and various other places. I think we're screwed, man. And it bugs me because I'm getting older, and I look at it like I have very few years left where I'm going to be young enough to do some things. In another 7 to 8 years, 10 years, I'm going to be a little bit too old to do some things physically. And so if you take 2 years out of that, that's a lot, And so, that's why I despise the CCP. I really don't like the CCP, and I don't like the way things are being done. But then again, I'm still alive. So, you gotta just roll with it and keep going. And I know Jono, I know Longhorns, I know even Gennaro and Soy Dog Cowboy, they all have wanted to come over here, and guess what? They can't. And I want to get out of here and then come back. Guess what? Can't do it. Not going to do it. It's going to be difficult. I really don't want to. Who wants to deal with the bullshit because of this? And I feel for the business owners. What about all the business owners in the United States and elsewhere and here? Listen, my wife is not out of the woods yet with her job. She could very well lose her job, and that would not be good. Tourism here is, I just read something the other day that was talking about how tourism in the world has basically taken a massive hit, and it may never recover. Well, yeah, I mean, this is the thing too. Tom, good point. Saw report New York nursing homes are claiming deaths are COVID-19 when they are not, just so they can claim more federal money. And everybody wants to screw the U.S. government. All these companies that get these contracts and that kind of thing, they're all screwing them. They're charging them top dollar. The U.S. government rarely gets things at a bargain. So, if they have to pay out to these hospitals, and all these hospitals are like, yeah. Now, I don't know about here in Thailand, and I don't know about some of the other places. I really have my doubts as to the truth of this virus. But I will say this. Even without the virus, I still don't like the CCP. And the United States government is taking a few steps to negate some of the actions taken by Beijing and the CCP, PRC. But that's for another conversation. Yeah, I don't know. But listen, I don't know if Soy Dog Cowboy is listening in the background as he watches the UFC or what he's doing. There's a chance I'll go to Nan. There's a chance I'll go to, where's that? Where is that? Let me see here. I got the map. I can find it. What is this? Agree, no more politics. It will only make us angry and make us unhappy. Yeah, well. I don't need to know about pad thai. At least not at the moment. Claiming COVID deaths just for being positive, even if you had mild or no symptoms, the numbers are inflated. Of course they're inflated. And of course the left is going to use that against Trump. No matter what he says, no matter what he can prove, it really doesn't matter. Let me look at this map. All right, so here's the thing. If anybody knows Thailand, just get a map of the provinces out. Nakhon Phanom is southeast of Bangkok. If I was to go up to Bangkok, I could then go over to Nong Khai, cut through Udon Thani, go to Lui, go to Phitsanulok, go up to Uttaradit, and then hit Nan, Payo, Chiang Rai, Chiang Mai, Mae Hong Son, go down to Tak, Kanchanaburi. If I could do all that, it would be fantastic. I already told the wife, don't know when I'll be back. Might be a couple of weeks, you know. So we'll see. But if that's the case, I'll be streaming from every province. And the only provinces that I could have any difficulty with that I see are maybe Narathiwat, Patana, Yala. Probably not in Songkhla. But it would be kind of cool to do a to circumnavigate the Thai country. So got to find out if there's anything to do in Lui. That's one place. You know, listen, I got the time. I don't necessarily have the money. So you know, I may just go up to Bangkok and then cut over to Sakon Nakhon. I don't know, or I might just go to Nong Khai or Udon Thani. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really am unsure of what I'm gonna do, but I would like to start in Nakhon Phanom. So I think I'm gonna fly there, which is, you know, that only takes an hour and a half or so versus taking the bus, which is like 12 hours. But the bus is an adventure, you know. Now, the other thing is that, you know, I don't know how my body will hold up. I haven't done anything like this in a while. And, you know, some of those trips that I took in Myanmar were nightmarish. Like in the van with a bunch of Burmese sitting behind me throwing up as we bounced up and down on the dirt road that was about as gnarly a dirt road as you're going to get. That didn't feel very good. Fortunately, I wasn't the one throwing up. They were. But still, you know, you get the picture. And I think even Richard said he had some problems taking the bus. The bus can, you know, listen, if you take the bus from Bangkok to Mae Sot, there's a lot of winding mountainous roads, and it's not exactly pleasant. You know, it's not a peaceful, cool drive down like PCH where, you know, it's a straight shot and you just kind of make a turn here and there. No, that's not what it's like. Anyway. I don't know what else to talk about. I'm about done. In more than one ways, I'm about done. You know, they're taking all these pictures of, I just was looking at this thing here. Juanita's Menudo, they got a Spanish chick on there. They've on Rosarita Beans, they've got a Spanish lady. Abuelito Abuelita, the Nestle drink, and then Cholula hot sauce. They got they all got Mexican ladies on them. What is this now? Now they're going to take all these ladies off? I mean, like, what is next? Well, that is something I am concerned with. My stomach has not been right for about a week now. I go through periods every once in a while where I'm okay and there's no problems. And then, where my stomach is a little upset. My stomach was upset last night. I don't know why. But that's not something I want to have to, concern myself with. And the thing is that if I'm walking, hey, that's a hell of an adventure to walk and go, however far I go. It makes it more adventurous because you see different things that you won't see even on a motorbike or a songtao. And if I'm walking, if you remember when I walked across Thailand, if any of you really remember, there was a time when I had to clean myself up. We'll just put it that way. Had a little bit of an accident, a very, very minor accident, but it was enough that I didn't want to continue walking unless I gave myself a nice cleanup. And fortunately, I was out in the middle of nowhere, and the houses that were around, I just got behind a tree, and they couldn't really see what I was doing. But, those are things you got to concern yourself with. You're going to do a dial live stream with No Time to Be Sad in Nakhon Phanom. I think that's where he is. Dual. Diarrhea is a COVID-19 symptom. It's a symptom of a lot of things. So, what am I going to do? I don't know about doing a collaboration with anybody. I mean, I don't have any problem, meeting with them or whatever. But, I'm not going to, like, I don't expect anybody to meet with me. I don't expect anything. I'm on my own. That's the whole idea. If I do meet up with somebody, great. But I'm not like, I'm not thinking to myself, wow, I should meet a bunch of people and collaborate with them. I just don't think that way. I like being by myself. I like walking by myself. Longhorns has traveled with me. He knows, listen, it's, you travel with somebody for a few hours. You hang out with somebody for a few hours. You get your peace and quiet. You recharge. Then you hang out with them a little bit more again. That's fine. But, I'm not thinking about anything like that. I'm thinking about what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? If I could take a boat, that'd be fantastic. I'd like to take a boat from Nakhon Phanom to Bangkok, but I haven't been able to find one. And it's kind of one of these things where you're going to have to go down to the pier, and you're going to have to just talk to people. That's the thing. I'm going to have to talk to people and say, can I negotiate some kind of a deal with you? Will you take me down the street there or down the river there? Is that going to work? I mean, and you don't really realize it, but it's a lot of work to do that. It's, I'll have a backpack on. I got to walk around with this. It's going to be hot out. I mean, and then it's, you get looked at. I'll be one of the only foreigners in the area. There's not going to be many foreigners there. There's not a lot of tourists. You might have some expats, of course, but so, when you walk up upon people, they're kind of like, huh? What's this guy want? And you got to deal with all that. You're the outsider. I know what it's like to be the outsider, And that's okay. I'll deal with it. But it is a bit of work. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully I'll stream on Tuesday again, and I will have a better idea of what I'm going to do. Maybe, I was going to get the bus ticket, and then now I'm looking at an airline ticket, and actually the price went up. Went up about 400 baht in the last 48 hours. So I've got to get on it, or I'm not going to be able to afford to fly. And, the other thing is, like, what's flying going to be like? And the only airline that goes there is AirAsia, one of my least favorite airlines. And it departs from Don Muang. So, that's another thing. But, I don't have a problem with that. If you want to travel, you got to just go, take it as it comes, let's go. Let's get on the road. Momondo.com. Listen, everybody gives me all these websites. I already know about Momondo and Kayak and, AirAsia. With your reserved seat, you're looking at about, the masks are required, definitely. Although on this particular flight, oh no, that's if you get that's if you pay the extra money, not for just the ticket, but you pay for like the little bundle. It's something like 500 baht more, which is like 16, 17 bucks, but that's about 30% of the cost of the ticket, 25% of the cost of the ticket. You get a meal, but their meals are shit, and it's only an hour and a half, 2-hour flight. So what do you need a meal for? But you got to wear masks. You're gonna have to wear a mask. So that's something else to consider. But getting back to the whole diarrhea thing, if you get sick and you're on the plane, man, the plane is one place I don't want to have to use the restroom unless it's taking a pee. The trains, no. The buses, no. I don't want to on any of them. I don't have a problem with, like pulling over to the side of the road. If the bus pulls over to the side of the road and I got to do my business on a squat toilet, then so be it. I heard some U.S. airlines are doing away with drinks and snacks, so people have to keep their mask on the entire flight. Yes, that's true. These are short flights. That's a little too personal beyond Trinity. I wouldn't go spreading that information around. I don't use Depends, and hopefully I never have to. We don't need to know about your loose sphincter. I really enjoyed Chiang Mai, especially seeing the wild elephants in the mountains. Yeah, I mean, I get recommendations. What was the guy recommending the place earlier? Chiang something or other. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Can't see. Now you see, the color of Jesus doesn't make a bit of difference when I'm traveling. Or Santa. If Santa's black, so be it. If he's yellow, so be it. If he's purple, so be it. Doesn't matter to me. I keep on traveling. You know what I mean? All right, where's the guy who told me about this place? Let me see if I can bring it up here. Makes it enjoyable, huh? Oh yeah, Ching Khan. Oh, that's in Lui. Okay. Lui. That's the district. I have very little information, but I have a Lonely Planets. I just have to find it somewhere and figure out. I got to figure out, where am I going to go, the overall cost, and it's a little trip like this is like a little expedition. Come is white. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Listen, I don't need to hear about bodily fluids. We don't need to talk about bodily fluids in my stream. Let's keep it semi-professional. You guys are just a little too much. Let me see something here. Can I do this? Can I put the little thing up here? Yeah, I can actually. All right. White Santa brings gifts. Black Santa takes gifts. Take that, Whoopi. Ooh. Wait a minute. Why is it that if a stocking is full of coal, you've been bad? Or no, if you've been bad, you get coal in your stocking. That's what it is. Bunch of sick bastards, man. You guys are sickening, really. Let me take a look at this again. Hey, man, I could feasibly go to what? One? I don't know if I could do it all in one trip. That's the only way to do it, though. I can't do it on my own, I'll tell you that. It's not going to happen. In order to stick to the border of Thailand and go around, I'd like to go around the outer edge. It's called the outer edge. That's what it would be. To go around each place, I would have to go to, oh shit, how many places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And then I'd have to go, where is that? 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. I'd have to go to 39 of the 77 provinces in Thailand. I don't know if I can do that all in one shot. You know, going to 2 or 3 is a lot. But, you know, I don't have anything holding me back. You know, kids will be in, at least Nicholas will be in school. Alex will be busy and have to go to school shortly. The wife is busy. And so, you know, they know it's what I do. Candy gives me cavity and costs me money to fix. And this is important. Why? You have to use that old wisdom about paying for your travels. Cash, grass, or ass. Yeah, nobody rides for free. Well, I could use that in the stream. You know, I could say that in the stream. Well, cash, grass, or ass, nobody rides for free. But, you know, that doesn't go over very well. Let me see if I can fix this. They view it as freeloading. Yeah, all right. Whatever. Let's see how this. Let me see if I can get this to change. Yeah, it did. It did change. All right. Anyway, we've been talking for a while now, and since the normal amount of time, listen, Beyond Trinity, I actually looked for a little pink scooter to travel around Thailand on. I'm talking about one of those little scooters where you just put your foot, you just hold it up, and not a scooter like a motorbike, but a scooter like, you stand on it like they have on the streets. But the streets in Bangkok, since the sidewalks are so bad and the streets are pretty bad in a lot of areas, it doesn't make sense to do one of those. But I was looking for a Hello Kitty one. I was like, man, maybe I can get sponsored with a Hello Kitty one. And I can ride around on a Hello Kitty scooter all over Thailand. Would I get sponsors from Japan? Sponsorship? Would Hello Kitty sponsor me? An electric scooter. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. But, if you remember, listen, I actually wrote an article, or I wrote a blog or something about how bad the sidewalks were 7 years ago. I wrote an article or blog or whatever about 7 years ago talking about how I had stubbed my toe or hurt my foot or something like that, and how bad the sidewalks were. And then Jono has something happen. My old lady had something happen to her leg. I think it was just from her walking, down the street with the kids, and I don't know. I don't know the whole deal with that, but there's a lot of people complaining about them. So I don't know how a scooter would go, on some street in the middle of nowhere or some dirt road. You know what I really would need is like a dirt, like a enduro dirt bike slash motorcycle, and I really don't want to do that because again, if I fall over on a bike that's going 50, 60 miles an hour, I might as well kiss my hip goodbye. Walmart sells a Hello Kitty 12-volt electric scooter for $90. Yeah, and how many kilos? I'm 100 kilos. How many kilos does, or 98 or whatever? How many does it will it carry, and how long will it last? Because I got to be able to go at least about 25 or 30 kilometers per day, and that's really slow. Just to go to Bangkok to walk is about an 8 or 9 day trip. If I walk, let me think, 6 hours a day, which is a lot. Don't forget all the assholes driving on sidewalks. Yeah, exactly. The problem is we all have assholes and we all can be assholes, and that's why there are so many assholes. Anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll figure it out. But this is one of those, they're all made in China. Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't want to buy anything made in China. It's got to be made in Japan. But, listen, reality is, I was talking to Nicholas and Alex about this, and they said, why are you going to walk? You already know you're going to be hurting, your hip's bad, you're going to have all these problems, and it's not all that safe, and, you're going to have to find a hotel, and blah, 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 blah. Why don't you plan it out using a song towel, one city to the next? I'm like, leave it to my kids to give me the simple option. So that might be what I do. Go from one place, each province to the next. I don't know. We'll see. When trucks run you over, they don't care if you're going 60 or 20. Exactly. Listen, nobody cares. To be honest, they're on the road with you. They don't care. You're just some dude. And then me, it'd be like, oh, farang. Farang, farang. So, anyway, I've heard a lot of requests to go to yeah, exactly. I'm not completely opposed to, riding a motorcycle, but it is dangerous. You can't ever forget that. And, something happens to me, I'm in deep doo-doo. I'd have to at least buy some travel insurance to supplement the insurance I have just in case something happened, that allows for driving a motorcycle, which means that raises a whole lot of other questions. I don't have a license. I haven't had a license in years. It means I got to go test. I got to go get and then does it include insurance? If you rent a bike, there's all kinds of things to consider. When I'm in Thailand, I'm one of those assholes riding on sidewalks. Yeah. $1,000, I could go on a song towel all the way for $1,000. Let me think of this. How many did I say? 39? 39 different provinces. Okay, $1,000 would almost pay for a trip all the way around the outside edge of Thailand. If you figure 1,000 to 1,200 baht per day for hotel, transportation, food, which is not very much. That's about $30, $30 to $40 a day for transportation, food, hotel, and 39 different places. You're talking about 40,000 baht. $1,000 is 31,000 baht. So for an extra 9,000, you could go all the way around the entire country if you did it right, it'd be possible to do it. So better that I would spend it on that than on a Royal Enfield that could actually cost me a shitload of money. If I got into an accident, if I just fell over and hurt my leg, I'm in the hospital, maybe I need pins put in my hip or something like that. It's not worth it. I have to think responsibly. Anyway, you know what? I haven't been watching the fight. What? Nobody even said anything about, oh shit, that's Netflix. UFC, come on. It's probably the main event right now. What is this? Is this a chick? Is this the same one? Let me see. The event is ended? What? Let me see something here. It says the prelims are over. Is the Poirier fight over? I see a couple of chicks, but this could be the Fight Pass 24/7. Rachel Ostovich. No, and it's awesome. All right, well, what happened to it? Let me see. Live. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. They're in the corner. Round 3 coming up. Who's winning the fight? Ooh, good body shot. Ooh, some good punches. Looks like nice right left. Wow, this guy he's fighting is good, eh? We'll watch the end of this fight. We'll watch to the end and then we'll call it a day. Can I play any sound? Still got 3 rounds left, yes. I better turn it down. These guys look tired already. I'm sure they're not, but they look like they've been through a war already. This guy Poirier has fought, man. He's fought for a long time now, and he's come close, but he's never really reached the very top. Ooh. Oh. How many people are watching this fight here? Besides Longhorns. Where's that straight left from Poirier? Oh. Should be throwing that straight left. The other guy should be throwing the straight right. Southpaw against Orthodox. Ooh, he's battering. They're battering each other, man. Oh, good shot from Poirier. Good uppercut. What a fight. There have been some good fights on lately. All right, Beyond Trinity, you take it easy. I'll wear a little a little Hello Kitty sticker for you when I end up going wherever it may be. Hello Kitty with some boxing gloves on, or no gloves, just wrapped hands. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Oh, he got out. Now he's in a bit of a spot. Poirier just beat M-Tip guy a few months ago, maybe Halloween. Yeah, no, Poirier is a great fighter, man. I mean, he's been around for a long time. He knows the game. He's a solid professional, but he just hasn't been able to rise to the top. And it looks like he's taken a beating from this guy. And the guy's got him now. He's in his guard. The guy Hooker, but it doesn't look like he's doing a whole lot. Wish I could show this. A minute and 16 left in what, round 3? There's 2 more rounds. On a positive note, I just forgot something here. The United States is putting together an anti-extremism task force. Hopefully they'll do something about it. It won't just be a task force in name where they do nothing. It's free. I got it on Fight Pass, which my membership ends at the end of this month. Well, which is, I guess it ends on Tuesday. Tell you what, man, Poirier is a fighter, 100%. He may not win this fight, but he comes to fight, man. He'll never give you an easy night. He's just walking in. He's flat-footed. It's fee? You mean free? Wow, what a time to be a UFC fan. This is turning into a bloodbath. This guy looks pretty beat up too. Oof. I don't know, man. Oof. Oof. The way they're showing it, it looks like Poirier's getting the better of him. Top Rank Boxing on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights. I don't get ESPN here. You know? I don't have cable anymore. 4th round. I'm wondering if somebody's going to get taken out here. So who was that? They've got it 89, 29, 28 for Hooker. It's a newscaster, sports broadcaster or whatever. This guy's got to fight back if he wants to win. Most guys would have got knocked out already. Yeah, no, he's getting hit, man. They're both getting hit a lot, but Poirier is. Oh, that was a great jab. Poirier needs to pour it on. Here you go. Oh, he gets the takedown. Another one. Oh, and he gets up. He won't let go. Ah! Oh, he's got his back. Poirier's got the control of the hands, but he's got the lock. He's got his legs locked. He let him up. Another one. Another one. So he takes him down, but he's not doing anything with him. Now he gets taken down. Wow. Two and a half minutes left in the fourth round. I don't think those takedowns will win the round for Hooker. Oh. That's not good. Oh. He's going to have to do something. He's got to get out of there. He's got to fight back. Oh. Oh, he's got the armbar. Oh, it's close, man. He's not going to get it, though, from there. Oh. Nah. Uh-oh. He's trying to push it out there. He's got it. That looks painful. That arm looks painful. He's holding on to the fence. Man, his arm is... And he's out. Crazy fight, man. He can't keep him down, though. That's the thing. So, I don't know why he's trying to do that. Maybe he's trying to take a rest. It's not doing him any good. Oh! Oh, now he's getting some shots in. But I'd say... Oh. Just beating the hell out of each other, man. I think the last round is important. They're both busted up, man. Fight of the year. What was the last fight? They just had the fight last week. They were talking about fight of the year. Best fight I've seen on UFC in a while. I forget the name. I can't remember the names of the two guys. And then what about the Gaethje and what the hell was the guy's name? I can't keep up with all these. Yeah, look at that. Boom. Takedown. All right, last round coming up. Paul Felder. I would come out of retirement for either one of these guys. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Let's see. They got to turn it on. Both of them need to turn it on. Make sure they get the win, but it's got to be even. That jab of Poirier's is deadly, man. Ooh, another one. Another rear hand shot. What is this? This is okay. Don't let it go to the judges, man. Tell you what, to me it looks like Poirier, he's pushing the fight. He's been coming on. He's been going after him. He's been damaging him with the jab, with the left hand, and even almost submitting him. And Hooker is kind of like just he's in there to survive right now. He's not doing a whole hell of a lot. Except getting hit. Oh, oh. See, he goes for the takedown, he can't get him down now. So before he went for the takedown, got him down and couldn't keep him down. Now he's not getting the takedown. I'm going to say watch for that uppercut from Poirier. Oh, he's down now. Can Poirier get up? Yep. Yeah, exactly. Hooker looks much more tired. Which is why Poirier is able to get out of anything. Look, and he's throwing the harder shots. I think he's landing the harder shots. And I think he's going to end up getting the victory. Unless something happens. See, look at that. He can't. He's having a hard time. He's just. It's the end of the fight. Only a minute 20 left. But both are a bunch of tough dudes, for sure. There we go. Oh, there's that uppercut. Oh! Oh! Coming in, he got blasted. There we go. The fight is over. I'm going to give it to Poirier. That was a hard fight for him, man. You got Poirier Longhorns? Anybody else watching this? Old Dan, Poirier won. It was tied at worst after 4. Yeah, I got him ahead. Tough fight though. I love it. All right, let's not get carried away. Fight is not insane. I don't know that I'd call that fight of the year. That fight I saw last week was, I don't even remember who it was, but it was fantastic. The chicks were fantastic. Joanna Jarenchenk or whatever her name was, and I don't know if that was this year or end of the year. All right. Fight of the night, okay, I can understand. I only saw a few of the fights. Here we go. Yeah, was that the one with the two tall guys? Arosa or whatever his name was? Yeah. All right. Well, Poirier won. Just as I thought. Unanimous decision. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me this Sunday morning. Appreciate it. And appreciate it if you leave a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment later on, good or bad, whatever you want to say. You can always leave a comment. Share the video, this stream. And we'll see you next time. Hopefully I'll have more to say. But the next stream should be on Tuesday. And we'll see. That was a pretty good fight, though. I leave you with a little blues.